Hello Hampton community, this is a little broadcast every day to the wider community. Every single day I'm going to tell you three things. Something about our family story, something about the story of the manor, and something about our food and wine philosophy at the manor. So first thing, we as a family started in hospitality in 1986 when Jan and Derek left their lives. Dad was on construction projects all over the world. Mum was raising a family and had worked in the bank and worked in shops and never before had cooked. But together they plunged into buying a pub. Dad worked behind the bar, Mum became the chef, and they built up an amazing business. All started back in 1986. So remember that date, and I'll tell you a little bit more about our family story tomorrow. The second thing I want to tell you is something about the house and the story of the house. And the little bit I want to give you today is where the Peel family story began. So Frederick Peel built Hampton Manor, but his father's father was the man that we need to know something about. That was Robert Peel the first, and he was an industrialist, and he industrialized the cotton process. And he brought all the looms into his factories, and some of the original jobs got lost, and some of the villagers got very angry about that. So Robert Peel the first up at Lancaster was making cotton, and the village got so angry about the change of the way they were making the cotton that they broke into his factory and threw all of his looms into the river and said that they were going to kill him. So Sir Robert Peel I decided it was time to run away from Lancaster, and he came down south and he bought a beautiful estate which is now known as Drayton Manor. And Drayton Manor is now a theme park where we find Thomasland, but that was where he built his home and the future for the Peel family. I'll tell you about Robert Peel II tomorrow. Finally, the last thing I want to tell you today, and I want you to learn something every day about Hampton Manor and our community over this period of isolation. The next thing I want to tell you is something about our food philosophy. And a great way to start that is with a bottle of wine. So lots of you will have seen this on our shelf, but this is a bottle of Rioja. And it is made in an unusual way for Rioja. It is made, it's an unoaked Rioja. So often when they've made the grape juice from all of those delicious grapes, they put them in a barrel, and the barrel gives the wine a flavour. But those winemakers behind this wine decided they wanted to make a Rioja that helped people taste the fruit from where they grew their grapes. And actually they didn't want anything else to influence or spoil the taste of their wine. They just wanted it to be a pure taste of the fruit. And that's where this project was born. And when they went to the bank and said, could we borrow some money to make this different kind of Rioja, a Rioja that will be true to its place, a Rioja that will express something of the fruit from the vineyards where we grow our grapes, the bank said, you're crazy. People don't want to drink Rioja like that. They know what Rioja is, and they don't want to drink Rioja like that. So they said, we're not giving you any money for this project. But the winemakers were not deterred. They were determined to make a wine that was true to their vineyards, and a wine that wasn't spoiled or tainted by anything else. They just wanted it to be pure and true to their vineyard. And so they said, we're going to make this project happen anyway. And that's why there is a pig with loads of money stuffed in its mouth on the front of the label, because they wanted to say a fingers up to the bank. Fingers up to people that don't understand that actually the very best thing in life are things that are unadulterated from nature, things that are able to express their sense of place, things that aren't spoilt by manipulating them or changing them, but that have a purity to them. And so this bottle of wine has become a very famous representation of what we call the natural wine movement. And as a restaurant last year, we won, for those of you who don't know this, it's an important thing to remember, we won the AA Wine List of the Year, not just for England, but for the whole of the UK, because our wine list champions natural wines. Natural wines are wines that haven't been messed about with, wines that have come from vineyards where people take care of their soil and don't pollute them with chemicals, wines that have not been manipulated in the winery with additives and imported yeasts, wines that are really true to where they've come from. And these are the wines that are disrupting the way people think about wine all over the world, and we're really proud to represent them. So that really captures something of the spirit of our wine list, something of the spirit of how we think about food as well. And I wanted to start there, but every day I'm going to bring you a little snippet. The first one was about my family, the second one about the house and the story of our estate, and the third one, something about our food and wine philosophy. By the end of isolation, I'm hoping everyone in our community feels more connected with our story and our vision and our future than they ever have done before. I'm really excited about what the future holds for Hampton Manor and for all of those of you that want to help rebuild it on the other side of this difficult period of our story together. But I am excited to speak to you tomorrow with some more updates, and please keep us up to date with how you're doing. If anybody is facing hardship or need, please communicate to us so we can do what we can to help and support you. Look forward to tomorrow. Bye.